An Israeli breakthrough of a blood test can detect lung cancer, the deadliest cancer, within 5 hours. The discovery can aid solve the central problem of the difficulty in early detection. Our health correspondent, Hilla Alroy, explains how it works.
The test we use is a blood test. It sounds so simple that everyone exposed to Savicell's technology asks themselves how such a test hadn't been created until today. A simple and inexpensive blood test that detects initial stage lung cancer within 5 hours. The simpler it is, the more wonderful. But to really understand just how breakthrough this Israeli invention can be, we need to start at the beginning. The blood will now be loaded on the gradient for cell separation. It will centrifuge for half an hour. Lung cancer is one of the more difficult cancers to diagnose in the initial stages. That is, the stage in which one can fully recover. Lung cancer is one of the leading cancers in mortality rates. More than breast, prostate, and colon cancer combined. The reason lung cancer causes so many deaths is because the detection is in the later stages, when the patient is suffering severe pain, shortness of breath, or weight loss, that is, stages 3 and 4 of the disease. At those stages, it is no longer possible to recover, but only to try and prolong the life of the patient. This is where the new technology comes in, which managed to save a life before it was even approved. An acquaintance of mine came by. As he's sitting in my room, there's a call from the research coordinator saying that there wasn't enough samples that day. I look at my acquaintance and ask him, would you be willing to donate blood? That acquaintance, completely healthy, excellent sportsman, agreed to join the control group of the research, that is, the healthy group. But then the surprise came. I got a sample with very, very suspicious results. It was a response profile of a person with cancer. He went to surgery, the cancerous tumor was removed. I was so happy we managed to save a life. There is no doubt that his life was saved because of the early diagnosis, and that is exactly a breakthrough. Now we can see the separated blood layers, and here is the small white layer that contains white immune cells. The researchers use the white blood cells to understand whether there are signs of initial stage cancer. Our test, illustratively, asks the white blood cells, did you meet cancer cells in the lung? Cancer cells develop in our body all the time, and the role of some white blood cells in our immune system is to attack and kill them. For the white blood cell to attack, they need energy and their metabolism changes. That's exactly what the test detects. At the moment, the device moves well by well. The data collected here is transferred to the analytical team, who analyzes the results and determines whether the patient has cancer. We had 2 patients that were totally healthy, non-smokers, not at risk for developing lung cancer. Everything was normal, and the test came back positive. They both did a chest CT scan, and to our happiness and their happiness we found small tumors. That was very early stage 1. The 2 patients found positive underwent surgery with Dr. Amit Katz from Ramban Hospital in Haifa, and now will only need to go through observation, with no chemotherapy, radiation, or harm to their quality of life, and that, after all, is the goal. There are many companies who are trying to develop early detection tests for lung cancer, but none of them were able to achieve level of sensitivity of 97% in the early stages of the disease. In the US, for example, insurance companies approve a low-dose CT scan for smokers, but it too is problematic because the radiation from the test accumulates in the body and may cause cancer itself. The blood test, on the other hand, when approved, will allow for early detection without putting the patient health at risk. We continue to work to introduce the product into the market. We feel the urgency, and we're working very hard to introduce the product as soon as possible. The company is working now to develop tests for other malignant diseases such as breast cancer and colon cancer, where early detection is critical. The blood has arrived. We can't finish without saying that the day after the test, I was told that my test matched the profiles of the healthy group. Meaning, in other words, that I was lung cancer free.
From experience, political reporters go to the White House, when we're invited, Travel reporters go to hotels, and you take tests. To each their own. When will we be able to take these tests and what will it cost?
They are currently continuing clinical research to achieve all the regulatory approvals. The estimate is that within a year or a year and a half there will be pilots in the US and Israel. The cost should be a few $100s, so there's a good chance it will be in the screening tests of Israeli HMOs, so that we won't need to pay.